At this point, all we know is that surviving roommate Dylan Morrison seen someone in her home when she opened her door around 4:15. She seen a white male around 6 feet tall with all black clothing and something in his hand that looked like a vacuum cleaner. 6 weeks after the unaliving of four college University of Idaho students, as far as we knew, there were no suspects. But little did we know, they had some under wraps. They were putting out information such as a white Honda Elantra, 2012 to a 2015, white male, bushy eyebrows, around 6 feet tall. They put out all this information, and I guess we were just supposed to pull a needle out of a haystack. But I woke up on December 29th, 2022, and they had a suspect taken into custody. 28-year-old Brian Christopher Khoberger from Pennsylvania was arrested. Brian Khoberger is a teacher assistant who's in a PhD program at the University of Washington. University of Washington and the University of Idaho are rival schools that are literally 10 minutes apart. Their students are so close, in fact, that you really wouldn't even be able to tell what school they go to because their schools are really that close. So how did we get here? We did not know that the intruder, which we suspect is Brian Khoberger, left his knife sheath in the room of one of the victims. The knife sheath was found under the body of Maddie Mogan, under her leg or under her sheet, and it had a small piece of touch DNA on it. Okay, now we find out that the FBI did something that can be considered legal but unethical. You know how you can take those 23andMe DNA ancestry testing? Someone in Brian's family, we think it was his sister, took a ancestry DNA test, and of course they get your DNA. They ran this through the database, which when you take that when you do those testing, it has a form on there that says, no, you cannot use my DNA for anything criminal. Technically, they weren't supposed to get that DNA off of there, so we heard. And they ran his DNA, and it came back that the person's DNA that was left on the knife sheath is the son of a Michael Khoberger. After you do all your little research, you're going to find out that the only person this could be, the son of Michael Khoberger, he only has one son, is Brian Khoberger. And that's how they found him. And just so happened, he has a white Honda Elantra. And just so happened, he lives 10 minutes away from the victims. And just so happened, he's a white male with bushy eyebrows, and he's 6 feet tall. Just so happened. Okay, touch DNA, right? Anybody can put touch DNA anywhere, right? So touch DNA is basically I can scratch you, touch something, and place it wherever I want to, and your touch DNA would be on there. But what are the chances that everything else would just align with you? Brian said, y'all lying on me. I was not there. I did not do it. What were you doing, Brian? I was out stargazing. What? So just so happened you was stargazing that night at 3 o'clock in the morning. Sources say it was no stars out that night. They said it was so foggy, so cloudy. It was getting ready to snow, and it just was no way he was out looking at stars that night. Not in Moscow, Idaho. Okay, so you weren't in the area, you were out stargazing. So the FBI got AT&T to ping his phone. Pinging his phone, baby. You were there. You were there. So Ring camera footage put this white car, which we're not 100% it was his car, but it's just coincidence that this car is riding past the house, riding in the neighborhood, zooming past the house, stopping, bagging up, and doing all these turns very weirdly at 3:45 in the morning. We have your pinged phone in the area, and also your phone cut off at 3:45 and cut back on at 4:45. Why? Okay, so for me, timeline just adds up. I mean, the girls came home around 2, went to sleep, did not wake up. You're riding around in the area, you're in the white car, a surviving victim seen somebody who looks like you, not 100% it was you because he had on a black balaclava, which is like a ski mask, but you can see this part of his face. So that is what she saw, that is what she described to the police. So Brian, on the other hand, is riding around, decides to cut his phone off. They found out that his phone was at 98% at the time that it cut off, so it didn't die. So you cut your phone off between the hours that these murders were committed and mysteriously cut it back on and went for a drive probably 45 minutes away from the house, turned around and drove back to your apartment, and then decided to jump in the shower and take a picture like this. I ain't saying he did it, but these some cold coincidences. What y'all think? Drop down in the comments. Let me know what you think. Guilty, not guilty, not enough evidence. I'm telling you, it's still so much more I gotta tell you. Part 3 coming soon. Bye.